Hey coin collectors, and welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We have some 1982 quarters here, a whole pile of them. And one of the things that's really interesting about the 1982 quarters is, and one thing that makes them more valuable is, they didn't make it in a lot of different manners. In other words, there were no uncirculated sets in 1982 and 1983, which are two of the only modern years in which they didn't have uncirculated sets. The other modern years that they didn't have uncirculated sets were 1965, 1966, and 1967, but they did have special mint sets those years, which are pretty close to uncirculated. But in 1982, they decided no more uncirculated sets for a couple of years, and they put out 1 billion quarters, about 500 million at the Denver Mint and about 500 million at the Philadelphia Mint. And we've got a bunch of them here. It's, you know, one of the things that's fun to do with the 1982s is see if you can figure out what the mint mark is. This is a Denver Mint mark, no question. It's a dirty coin, but it's a good mint mark. This one is a T. It's probably the Tallahassee Mint, right, or the Tennessee Mint. It's not a T. It's a P, but it just got malformed and kind of smudged. There's another P there. That's the Philadelphia Mint. So they made 500,000 Denver, 500,000 Philly, 1 billion altogether, and 0 of the uncirculated sets. They did, however, make a San Francisco Mint proof set. They made 3.8 million of them. And this is the coin from the proof set. And let's see if we can get to that. Is, goodness gracious, that is a magnificent coin. We see over here there's an S, says Liberty at the top, Washington facing to the left, In God We Trust here in 1982, and you can see it's highly polished around the outside and the kind of lower layers of the coin. And then when you get to the numbers and these letters, but then when you get to Washington, you see it's polished a little bit different, almost like a sandblasted kind of look to it. And that is always going to be the look of a proof set coin. These proof set coins came in these black kind of hard plastic backs. There we see United States proof set. And you'll sometimes see them in something like this, which is kind of a display pack that they set to put them up. So they would set it up here, and that's the United States proof set 1982. They would show you how to kind of pull it out and display it. And then inside you'd find this, the whole set, and this beautiful medallion too, right there, Department of the Treasury medallion. So we see there's the dime, the penny, the nickel, the quarter, the $50 in the medallion, and then you'll also see some scratches and breaks, which is why we get this set, because they sold it to us real cheap, because collectors of these sets do not want a scratched, dented one. But we got a great Washington quarter out of it. So this is the 1982. Let's look at the back of the 1982. And the S Mint, or San Francisco Mint, again, they made 3.8 million. This coin right here is worth a minimum of $4, probably in MS60, not Mint State 65, I'm sorry, in Proof State 65, PS 65. It says United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum, and look at the detail on that eagle. Look at the sharpness of the beak. The eye leaves a little bit to be desired. A little bit of a tail coming out the top of the head, which you want to look for in the good coins. You know what? This is not quite as good as it looked initially, is it? Because you should be able to see the feathers here, both on the leg and here. So this is not the greatest of all pressings. We do see the ribbon there, and we do see at the bottom there is a olive branch, and it says $quarter. And actually, if you look at these R's, not great pressings all the way around on this one. So this may not be the greatest coin in the world, but it's probably worth the $4. It just won't go much higher because of the definition in it. And I don't know if that's a 1982 issue or just this particular coin issue. And you say, well, I'm looking through the plastic. Well, most of the stuff, if you're going to buy one of these coins and you can get a good light and a good magnification, I think it's okay to look through the plastic to kind of determine good the coin is and how valuable. And if you cannot see the feathers down here on the legs and in between the legs from the kind of the tail, inside of the tail feathers, then it's not going to be that great a coin. However, the cool part is to look at these mint marks. So there's a P, there's a P, there's a P, and we get all different kinds of P's. Let's see if we can find another. Here's a P, there's a P. Lots of Philadelphia coins, and I don't know if that's because we're in the East, but and that, my friends, is a D. Now that's one of the oddest looking Ds we've ever seen. But when we look at the W God We Trust here, we know that that IN, which got blended together. So this is all post-mint damage here. PMD, this did not occur at the mint. However, the mint marks are so poor that it was like susceptible to kind of post-mint damage. There's one of the better Ds we have in this pile. If we tip it up, we see it's a copper nickel-clad copper coin. It has 119 of these reeds. And if we tip it over, you'll see that even though I would kind of dissed that proof coin set, you can't see any feathers on one of these used ones. And if you go up a little lower, you'll see that everything kind of gets worn down, and this one almost looks like it kind of tips in a little bit. These coins get worn, but they're great. You can still put one of these in the machine, or a bunch of them. That's a P, by the way, and use them for laundry or whatever. So they're good coins. They last. They're kind of fun coins to look at the mint marks on, but they are not valuable. If you get one of these in a mint state 65, you're starting to get some value. You might be talking about $15 to $25 in the mint state 65. If you get one of these in a mint state 67, you might be talking about hundreds. And it turns out that if you look at PCGS, or one of the grading sites for these, if you want to find a mint state 68, they only know of 2, and they go for about $1,700. But remember, mint state 68 is going to look this good without the special buffing on it or the special polishing. But it's just going to be really shiny and really no scratches on a mint state 68. 68 out of 70 possible grading scales. All right, well, that's all we have today from DC Coin World. Love these coins. If you get them, just look through